Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, happy to have you. So, my last post on unrealistic versus realistic relationship expectations drew a whole lot of attention, comments as well as subscribers. So, thank you so much guys for indulging me. So, just before I started this post, I did display comments from a user who is named Udeme Omo. It is his comment that informs today's topic on how staying or not staying true to yourself can either break or make a relationship. So, Udeme's thoughts are that just as much as unrealistic expectations can break a relationship or hinder it from working, not staying true to yourself as well also contributes to failed relationships in our today's world. I also share the same sentiment to them, so thank you so much for that comment. Oftentimes, our insecurities gets the better of us. We meet a guy or we meet a girl, and we suddenly go into insecurity mode and feel like we don't stand a chance with that person. So we find ourselves drifting into a new character, a new persona, creating a whole different person just to look cooler, just to look more interesting, to look more attractive for our person of interest. And by so doing, we end up losing ourselves and eventually losing that relationship when it all comes to light that we are not who we say we are. When I was trying to research, I do research before I come on here. How's that of being a researcher? So when I was trying to research on this topic and how to go about it, I happened on this quote. I will read it. I happened on this quote by an author, Lucy Robinson. She's the author of The Greatest Love Story of All Time. So this is quote unquote. She says, "Whoever you end up with, you shouldn't be changing a thing for them. Nothing. Don't be with anyone if you can't be you, because you're bang on just as you are." This simply wraps up everything I have to say, so I can as well stop here now. So Lucy Robinson captures it all. If you're with someone that you can't be yourself with, then please move along. There's no point trying to pretend to be who you are not, just to keep yourself looking cool or just to keep a love interest. It's a whole waste of energy that you could have used for something else. So, what does it really mean for someone to stay true to themselves? So, it simply means you don't have to worry about pleasing other people. You don't have to live by someone else's standards or rules. You are not apologetic about who you are as a person. You are not apologetic about what you believe. You're not apologetic about what you like or how you see the world. You are your true, authentic self without compromise. So, how do you compromise staying true to yourself? We compromise ourselves in so many ways. Okay, take a typical example. Girl meets guy. Guy says he's vegetarian. Suddenly, girl is also vegetarian. So when they are together, they're doing all the veggie stuff, eating all the veggie food, drinking all the veggie drinks, and when she goes back home, she's tearing at that meat. In her privacy, she's digging into that meat, like that beef, that lamb, that pork, in his absence. That's you not staying true to yourself. Girl meets guy. He's a sports freak. Oh, he loves football. She's not into football, but she must be a football freak as well to please him. So she spends all night researching on his football team. Okay, he's a Chelsea fan. Research on who the coach is and all the players, know the players' names by heart, learn on the key things. Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't show interest to what your partner likes. Showing interest is you watching the game with him, and while you're watching the game, they blow a foul and you hear the whistle, you're like, oh, what was that whistle for? You're showing interest in the game, not you doing a whole examination research to join in with the conversation and look cool, and you're like, oh yeah, this girl is into football. That's you not staying true to yourself. So what if you like different things? Who said it will make you any less cooler or any less desirable? There's a Bible passage that I love very much that it captures exactly what I'm trying to say. I think it's in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 17. And it says, people learn from one another just as iron sharpens iron. And that is the Good News Bible version. So have you ever asked yourself, why is it that when you're trying to sharpen a knife, you sharpen it on a rough, very coarse edge metal? You never see iron being sharpened on a smooth, you never see a smooth knife being sharpened on a smooth metal. It's always sharpened on a rough edge. So there are benefits to you not liking the same things. It's, for me, I even see it as an advantage. It gives you a lot more to talk about. It gives you a lot more to know about each other and share about each other. Don't get me wrong. Having the same likes, sharing the same faith, sharing the same interest is also a plus in a relationship. But that you like different things doesn't mean you don't stand a chance of that relationship working. It gives you more interesting things to learn about each other and make that relationship also work. So why stress? Why go through the length of changing your whole character to be someone else just to please someone? Being you is what will favor you in life all through. If you have to be with a guy that makes you feel like you have to be someone else, I said earlier, run for your life. I once heard a story of this is really stupid. Anyways, so this guy meets this girl and they've been dating for too long, and all through the relationship he never saw her without her makeup. Yeah, I know you know where I'm going with this. Anyways, they eventually get married. On the very first day after the wedding night, he sees her in her glory for the first time without makeup. Saying he was upset and crazy was an understatement. Long story short, it ended up in the guy suing the girl. Anyway, like I said earlier, that's just plain stupid. I'm trying to drive home a point. My point is, the time you spend creating a new image, a new mirage of an individual to please some guy, to please some girl, that time you could have used to do something that will make that relationship work. What was the whole point? If at the end of the day, it all comes to light that you are not who you have been pretending to be, what would it have all been for? Nothing. You ended up wasting your whole time doing nothing absolutely relevant or beneficial to that relationship. So why bother? If your partner can't trust you to be your true authentic self in that relationship, what are the hopes for that relationship to last? Absolutely none. And I'm sure you agree with me. This whole scenario just draws my mind to a movie I watched several years ago. I think most of you have watched it too. It's a movie by Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, Runaway Bride. So, for every guy Julia Roberts dated, it was very intriguing that the way she liked to eat her egg changed with the person she was at the time. Okay, so boyfriend 1 likes scrambled eggs. Oh, Julia loves scrambled eggs. Boyfriend 2 liked to eat his eggs boiled. Suddenly, Julia also liked to eat her egg boiled. 3 liked omelette. Julia suddenly changed to omelette. So this kept going on and on until Richard Gere called her out. But the question now is, in that movie, how many of those relationships lasted? You could see she kept progressing from one level of relationship to the other. None lasted because she wasn't her true authentic self. She was pretending to be someone else to please whoever she was dating at the time. And of course, when you're doing that, it never lasts. Now you may tell me, Sema, relax, that's just a movie. Yes, it is a movie, but it also translates to the real life scenario. When you pretend to be who you're not, you rob your partner of the opportunity to know you. And that way, it's impossible for that person to actually really get to know your personality and see how that can translate to something lasting. So, all I'm saying, this is my 2 cents. Be you. Do everything possible in your capacity to be your real, authentic self. God made us beautifully and wonderfully. He took time out to make us special, to make us beautiful, to make us in the right structure, frame, and everything. And so all you should think of is being yourself. When you are happy with who you are, when you're happy with who you are as a person, then you are more likely to be in happy and lasting relationship. Be your true, authentic self. However, with being your true, authentic self, there is a caveat. If your true, authentic self has, negative extras in regards to etiquette. For example, you like picking your nose in public or belching after a big meal, please hold it in. Hold that negative for as long as you possibly can until that relationship has gone on for decades, so that it would be too late for that person to leave you. That is just on a lighter note, but seriously, if I were to wrap this up in a word, in a sentence, I would say that not staying true to yourself is just like you holding your breath. Oftentimes we hold our breath when we come in contact with a very foul smell, or some people like, to hold their breath to keep that flat tummy. When you hold your breath, you find out that when you leave that, when you stop holding your breath, you're gasping for life. You're trying to breathe the amount of air you had, withheld from yourself. Not being yourself is you holding your breath. And for how long will you keep holding your breath? At some point you have to let it go. At some point you have to start breathing. Why don't you start breathing now? Why don't you start breathing the minute you meet her or you meet him? Be yourself, and your relationship is more likely to stand the chance of working and even lasting. That is my 2 cents on this. I am also looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this. But until then, take care of yourself. Be safe. Be your true, authentic self without apology. Remember to click the subscribe button down there. Yeah, that one down there. Until next time. Bye-bye.